Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ashley Lancelot Show. I'm here with a handsome bearded man from downphoenix. He is a small YouTuber at over 2,000K. He does gaming. He does his opinion on reviews on what the gaming company in the whole situation is like. For example, like GameStop, Squaresoft, Konami, even though that one makes me want to throw up, EA, and so on as well. He does several retro and classic games all the way through the newest one as well. He also streams on Twitch and on YouTube, and I'll put the link down on below. Please go check him out and show him some love as well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well.
And we just want to know, like, have a quick brief about like why did you start YouTube, even though you do work as well as a construction, I believe, right?
No, I don't work in construction. I actually work in retail.
Me
But anyways, YouTube, I started that way back in 2007. I was like one of the old channels, but I never really gained traction because partly I didn't know what I was doing with it really. It first started as a place where I can upload video clips that I made from the movies. I don't even remember that game.
You mean the Mario movie?
No, they had a PC game called The Movies, which allowed you to make like machinima clips essentially using the game engine. It's actually a really cool idea at the time.
I never knew about that.
Yeah. It was made by Lionhead of all people, actually.
Really interesting game. Are they still alive?
No, Lionhead's gone.
Damn.
But it is a really interesting game. I mean, if you check out my channel and you decide to go to like the oldest videos I have, I'm gonna have like a couple different ones based on the movies that you can check out.
Oh, cool. So like
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's all right. So you know that got you started, and over the years, I know that within like 2 years, I believe, a year and a half to 2 years, you got up to 2K.
No.
How long did it take you?
I'll give you like an actual breakdown of the channel. Like literally the first year I was on YouTube, I only got 4 subscribers.
Wow.
Now, that being said, I did like nothing with the channel except for I did the couple of those movie clips like I was talking about.
Yeah.
As well as a couple of no voice recording Let's Plays because I didn't have a mic or anything like that, webcam. This is back in 2007. Things were a lot different. Capture cards were practically unheard of back then.
Yeah.
You had to use like a low quality webcam or a camcorder if you really had some money, that kind of stuff. You know, it was a lot different game back then. But I ended up getting a capture card in 2008. It's called the Game Bridge. This little box about roughly that big. It's such an antiquated device nowadays. It doesn't even work on 64-bit versions of Windows.
Oh yeah.
But you had the red, white, and yellow cables, and I did my first Let's Play, which was for Alien Hominid on the Xbox 360.
Oh god.
Using that, and the quality is pretty terrible, but I think that's where I started to gain a bit of traction on YouTube, was doing that Let's Play. I think I was the first channel to do a Let's Play of that game.
Yeah.
And it got a decent number of views, and so that was kind of where I first got my start on YouTube, was doing that kind of stuff, doing the Let's Plays. I also did a couple game reviews and things like that, and then it just kind of slowly evolved from there. But I've been pretty inconsistent, admittedly, on the channel. But one thing I've always done is I've always kept at it, kept the passion for what I do, and kept striving to improve the quality of the content, both in the editing and the overall quality in terms of like the video and things like that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm at the point now where I mainly do vlog type videos. I like to do discussion topics and things like that. I plan on getting back into doing reviews, but I'm going to do things a lot differently than I did in the past. It's going to be mainly done as a vlog format with some gameplay clips spliced in. That's kind of how I'm going to do it, as opposed to doing like a really intricate review, like a story-based review or something like that, like the AVGN, for example. So,
Yeah, because a lot of times, it's a lot harder for now smaller YouTubers, especially big ones, to actually be doing live game stream on YouTube now, due to the fact that how they do the monetization and everything else, that everyone's like moving towards Twitch. And I have Twitch. I'm not there most of the time, but I'm like, I just there to post videos. But how does that make you feel as a YouTuber that does a lot of gameplay videos and doing that as well with like
Well, I mean,
between platforms?
that's one of the reasons why I've shifted the direction that I have is because from what I see, a lot of smaller channels that do just nothing but live streams or do nothing but let's plays or things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not really going to get much traction because everybody literally does those things. So you have to have something else in addition to that to kind of like separate yourself from the pack.
Mm-hmm.
And with doing the discussions of logs, that kind of stuff, and especially trying to do discussions on things that people really aren't talking about. Like for example, I did a video back on, I guess it was a couple months back or so, where I talked about a little controversy controversy involving Friday the 13th. There was a Kickstarter backer code for a special Jason skin, like
Yeah.
that was made by Tom Savini, like a brand new Jason skin,
Yeah.
and these codes were only given to the Kickstarter people, and they were given under the impression that you can't sell the code. If you sell your code, you'll get banned from the servers. And so, but there was apparently a slew of codes that somehow got out there. I seen like nobody else really talk about it besides a post on Reddit. So I did a video on it, and it was kind of a really interesting discussion. It involved a lot of things. I try to look at topics like that, and for anybody that's new, kind of starting out, I don't encourage you to just talk about whatever you see in the mainstream gaming news. Definitely keep your eyes peeled for anything that might be a little out of the ordinary,
Oh yeah.
because that might be the way that you can gain traction. That's something you have to keep in mind. Like a lot of my most popular videos that I have on the channel were for topics that not a lot of other people have covered. So it's just a really good boon for any smaller channels to hop on that train.
How did you find these smaller gems of news that no one really report? You just go to Reddit and just then research from there, or?
I don't really use Reddit that often. Actually, I did use it in that instance. I just keep my eyes peeled, look out all kinds of different gaming sites and things like that. It's good to be informed as
Mm.
much as you possibly can. At least if time can allow it. And as far as making that kind of content, that's what I recommend. But
Yeah.
if you don't really have the time to put into that kind of research, then maybe you could do it through other ways. Twitter is a huge thing for me. I really like using Twitter on that regard.
Mm.
Follow a lot of different gaming sources on there.
Did you like go to the sources, or do you have your subscribers like sent you like a news clippings?
Occasionally, I have people send me stuff. I've had a few people will message me on YouTube, say, "Hey, have you seen this?" or whatever, and I've actually made a video or two, I think, on that particular front. But most of it's stuff that I find out on my own.
Okay, because I have a hard time finding like these news articles for gaming and just basic general stuff. And I go on YouTube and I see like the bigger YouTuber already done it. I'm like, oh, I can't milk that anymore.
Right. Well, like when it comes to topics that are like heavy hitting like that, you can
Yeah.
still get some traction if you're like really fast with putting it up. But on the downside, news stories can develop, and so that can kind of make you look foolish if you choose the wrong topic to talk about.
That is really true as well.
So it's all a gamble. It's all a risk. You just gotta hedge your bets. That's kind of the best way I can think of it.
Oh yeah, and it's just and I haven't been on your channel that long. Yeah, I got the channel from you since I was I believe it was after the interview with RGT 85.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I became a mod, and then from then I started noticing you and started noticing John Rick, and he'd be the next one I got to interview as well.
Oh yeah, John Riggs is great. I'm gonna have to finally meet him at Missouri Game Con. I was gonna meet him last year, but I had a little bit of an issue where I could not go. But I'm actually planning on getting my tickets this year, and it's gonna be great because like pretty much everybody in the Middle Jesus crew is gonna be there, including MJR himself. So that'll be pretty.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, because Rick said other than like their typical Northwest stuff, like in Portland or whatever, that's probably like the biggest MJR crew that's going to be there. I think Radical Reggie's going to be there, and Kelsey's going to be there, and I forget who else, but like I think he named like at least 5 other people
Wow.
So
Well, I live close to Oregon now, so I'm probably gonna meet them in PAX West in Oregon
oh yeah.
because moved and I try to get my studio up and going as well.
Did they go to PAX? I don't really see them talk about it. I know they
No,
talk about like
re-
Portland Retro Gaming Expo. I think it's PRGE or something like
yeah,
that.
I think he does. I think Red made a video about that. He did.
Yeah,
He
that'd probably be your best bet in that area, I think.
yeah, and also he also talked about there's this like educational games for kids that he
Oh yeah,
was.
Khaled's Games for Kids. Yep.
Yeah, I want to go there because I'm a huge robotics fanatic, and I used to teach robotics and program.
Yeah, that's a really good cause. I
Hmm.
mean, I don't know if I'd want to spend $30 to $50 on a homebrew cart for something simple like that myself. But hey, if you put that stuff on Steam, I'd definitely check it out.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting the Raspberry Pi and get all the NES games on it and just streaming it off of that.
Yeah, Raspberry Pi is pretty nice. I actually do most of my emulation on my computer because I actually have a setup where I have an HDMI splitter. I'm actually looking at it right now. I got my 4K TV right here that I
Yeah.
can see you from, and it's split with my second monitor on the PC, so
Mm.
they're both displaying things at the same time. So I can set my games up like I can set up RetroArch on the PC.
Yeah.
Then I just sit down with the controller, watch it, play it on TV. You know, it's pretty nice.
I
that way.
probably have to and off the video help me with the emulator because I knew about it for a very long time. It's just that I never really researched it.
Okay. Well, if you're wanting to do stuff like Raspberry Pi specifically, I definitely recommend checking out ETA Prime.
Mhm.
He's probably like the best channel for that kind of stuff. I also recommend checking out my friend the Retro Bro.
Yeah.
He doesn't do quite as many videos as ETA Prime, but he breaks it down in a nice, simple manner that I think that most people that aren't really versed in it will kind of understand.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just
both are really good channels to check out on that.
I'm just gonna buy the damn thing. Then you build it, and you program it, and I'll buy it.
Yeah, yeah. It's like Nintendo Labo without the cardboard.
Yeah. Oh my. Oh, okay, this is gonna be the podcast part of it. Now we can ask each other back and forth. Oh shit. I think Labo was a huge joke in my opinion. I don't know if did you get the Labo yet, or it was not even worth the
No,
money.
I mean, I really like the idea, but actually, I think it's a really interesting
Mhm.
idea, a really cool idea. But I am definitely not in the target demographic, and I don't have anybody that lives in this household who is. So, unless I got it like really cheap, like if Nintendo decided to clearance them out for $10 or something like that, be like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, I'll check it out just for the heck of it, That's what I did with the Tony Hawk Ride skating game. Yeah, otherwise I don't really have any interest in it.
It's like like I said, a robotics background. Like for $70 for a robot one, I can just go because I don't know if you remember back then, like a like KB Circuit City when these stores were still alive back then. They had the Lego Mindstorm, and they had the Lego Connect Mindstorm. You built them, you could reuse the parts of it, and you have this big emulator software, the CPU that you program yourself, and it will do all bunch of stuff for you. I'm looking at the cardboard one. It's like, okay, you gave him one cardboard that's already been cut out. You give him a stencil, and they have to, it's like, for me it's just a waste, and you can't do, it's like you can do so much stuff on it, yes, as a pre-programmed what you can, but like I told like people from Botball, and that's the Lego set of robotics do competition for high schoolers for colleges at the College of State, UC Davis, or San Jose State, and I also built the actual battle bot as well, and it's just weird to me because I have an engineering background. Looking at this is like one of the cheapest way to like to be live long for like a couple months and it's gonna die out.
Oh, the Labo, you
Yeah,
mean?
it's gonna die out.
Well, it's weird. I was reading the NPD results, and I heard that it was number 4 for the month of April, which is great and all. But
Yeah.
like literally at the we actually sell the Labo at the store that I work at,
Yeah.
and I think we literally sold 2 of them since
Mhm.
launch.
Yeah.
Because we have a display where they have a whole bunch set up, and there's only 2 spots missing, and I've never seen any come in the shipment. So I was like, okay, not selling that well here, anyways.
Well, I think it's a different location. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Well, I
like,
think it's kind of a weird. It's such a weird out of the way idea
mm,
that you really have to convince the consumer. You have to demonstrate it to the consumer, and I didn't really see that with this particular device.
no.
I did see it with the PlayStation VR
Hmm.
actually at another store that the same company I work with. They had the PlayStation VR setup, and that was pretty cool. To see that going on, and that got me interested. Even though I didn't play myself, it got me interested. It kind of see what it looked like up close.
I really
You
want to
know, I,
get. I really do want to get a VR, but it's just cost too damn much.
oh, it's starting to get down in price. I think I've seen bundles for as low as $200.
Over here,
So if you could find one at that price range, it's totally worth it.
yeah, I still see it around here for $300.
Yeah, well, I think it was during the holiday season they had it
Yeah.
for 200. Yeah, but you just wait a bit, wait for Black Friday. I'm sure you can get one for that price.
Yeah, no. Like, what are you more into? JRPG, RPG, action, side scroller? Because you play a lot of, like nitpicks of games out of nowhere in your streams, and I'm like, what will we have today, Down Phoenix, for our live stream? And you play Final Fantasy 4. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be in that one right now.
Right. Well, as of right now, the only thing I really regularly try to live stream is on Fridays. I stream Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy Fridays is what they're called. And maybe when I run out of Final Fantasy games, we'll just change it to Fantasy Friday and just do just any RPG in general.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I don't really have a rhyme or reason to it. I'd like to get a schedule going on though. I think I might actually do VR games on Thursdays, like VR Thursday or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about, just doing some different things like that. It might be fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
But my schedule is kind of chaotic sometimes. Even though I have a pretty good, solid work schedule, you never know when my wife will plan for us to do something or whatever. Maybe a new show comes out on Netflix and we binge that, or we go out to the gym, or something like that. So it's just all kinds of things going on. That's why I don't commit too much schedule wise.
Yeah, family is important no matter what.
Oh yeah.
For me, I try to hide from my wife.
Oh well, that's what I've got up here in this game room. This is like no wife zone. She doesn't even come up here. I think she's been up here like maybe 3 times since we moved here.
Well, I'm in the garage, and reason why in the summer it gets about 120 degrees. Like, you can't handle the heat. Well, I'll be in here. I'll be roasting like a turkey for Thanksgiving.
Do you just rent, or do you own?
We rent. When you get like this disability or retirement, you don't get that much for compensation from them getting out. It's just like, here's a little bit of amount, survive. And you're like, that's why you have a lot of homeless veterans. It's like, you like 3,000, like usually if you're 100%, I get 3,400. I have like 3 people under my name that take care of me, and it's like that's not enough to even like rent a house and everything else. That's why I'm like in like middle of nowhere now.
Right. Well, I mean, California is kind of an expensive place to live. I mean, if you move somewhere else, I mean, I'm sure it could be more manageable potentially.
We want to move out, but I had a GoFundMe page that only made $35 from it because I want to move out of state. But it's just very hard for me. I do this YouTube for my anxiety and depression, for PTSD. So this helps me a lot. Just talk to people.
I gotcha. So did you serve like over in Afghanistan or Iraq or anything like that?
I did a tour in Afghanistan. It was a short tour because I had to go, because we were out of flying crew chiefs, so I had to get very quick training. I forget what it was called, SEER training, I believe. You had to do survival training before you're able to get the anthrax shot.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
And that shit hurts like hell. Then you gotta get then you gotta be able to go fly overseas. It was a short tour because if you think about it, 80% of the military is only manned. Military is only manned by 80%. We only lost 20% of people that's supposed to be maintaining everything in the military. So we are like very like minute. We really do need people, but a lot of times is people will not join unless you bring back the bonuses, the benefits. Because people, majority of people join the military not for sacrifice for the country. they're doing this for the benefits, healthcare, and schooling most of the time.
Well, I mean, it's definitely a question of nobility, right? Like how noble someone's intentions are. And I think that might be kind of the reason why some people don't like the military is because of the fact that some people are selfish with it. But, at the same time, I think it's still a great sacrifice. And, I really appreciate what
Yeah.
they do for us as a whole. So I like thank you for your service, even though you might not have signed up for anything like that. I mean, like
No,
when you signed the military, you probably weren't thinking, oh, I'm gonna be going to Afghanistan or something like that.
Oh.
Heck yeah. But you know what I mean? Like I just
Well, back then, 2011, when I first joined, we were trained to be in Afghanistan. They were put us in the beast training. You're like in the middle of Texas in the desert. So you were there for like 2-3 days surviving the area. At night, and like the lack of sleep, hot as hell, no AC. And we're like at night when you do like guard duty, we're like so bored. We had the rifle butt, like glow in the dark scorpions coming out from the ground.
Oh, right. Well, like with my case, like I was actually going to be in the military myself, but I have a condition which I don't want to talk about.
You don't have to talk about it.
It didn't completely exclude me from it, but I would have had to sign a medical exemption, so I would have been pretty much screwed if I got hurt because of that condition.
Marine and Army will take you.
No, like they would have. They said that they wouldn't be liable for any kind of damage like that, so it would be on me for like any kind of medical bills and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I don't think so. That's too much a risk.
The medical bill they'll take care of. They're not going to give you the percentage when you get out as med board.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't understand it too much. Well, this was back in 2001. Also.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, you're older, way older than me then.
Well, this was pretty much, I was going right out of high school pretty much into the National Guard. That's what I was trying to do.
National Guard, it's actually a very safe thing. Unless they put you out in the Gulf, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Military is just becoming crap. Everything's outdated now. It's like they want to. We can do a political talk if you want to, because I do random talks with the other people. Is that we spend like what, a couple more $1 billion into the defense force, but they will not upgrade any of the techs. It's like, isn't that more important? Cyber attack is like everything now is cyber attack now. Cyber information now, and it's like that is the most dangerous weapon that we have now is information that they can obtain through the internet, through the servers and everything else, and just like we're like very vulnerable to it.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely. I mean when it comes to stuff like that, I guess you could say we are a little behind the curve, but I don't think so, because I mean we spend more on the military than every other country in the planet. So I mean
on weapons, plane, and tanks. Yeah. That is it, because I just got out 2 years ago, and I'll tell you, and I can't tell you what kind of machine it is. I'll tell you that it is way outdated. You'd be looking at like, that thing's still alive.
Oh right. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess they'll try to use old tech as much as they feasibly can, but they'll eventually have to decommission stuff. I mean, that just happens.
Yeah, it's just very slow. It's like we used to be the top of everything. Now we're like behind on everything. That's kind of funny at the same time, but yeah.
Well, I mean, even though we spend more on military than every other country, we do have a lot of people stationed overseas and stuff like that. That's a very costly venture. Like you have a country like China, which they don't spend as much as us, but they don't really have nearly as many people stationed overseas either. So that kind of helps them to limit their costs a bit, and maybe they can focus a little more on like R&D or something like that.
That is true. With that situation, we have everyone, but also you think about it, 80%. We only manned 80% in the world, and we only have 20% missing that we need to cover up the jobs for. And it's like, and everything is thinning down. It's very thin. It's very literally. Our troops are very thinning down due to that fact.
Well, and that's part of the reason I think why they're trying to increase military spending. They're trying to make up those incentives to try to recruit more people. I think that's kind of what they're aiming for on that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really an expert on that, to be honest. I just hope we don't get into a war with like Iran or something like that. I mean, that's kind of crazy sequence of events.
Iran is ours. We still control Iran.
Well, like about that whole nuclear deal, like where Trump said that they were withdrawing from the nuclear deal with Iran.
I think he already didn't he?
Yeah. They announced it like 2 weeks ago, a week ago, something like that.
Yeah.
I haven't been following too closely, but I don't know what people's opinions are on whether that was the right move or not. I mean, I don't really care about that. I just think it was a bad idea personally, just because of the fact that other countries in the world, they're going to notice what we did there. And they're like, okay, well, the U.S. said they were going to do something, and then look at that, they're not actually going to do it. They're going to pull back on their word.
Yeah,
and that's kind of makes us look bad, because like we did that with the Paris Climate Accord also.
Yeah,
and I think it just makes countries a lot less likely to want to trust us.
Yeah,
that's why I think it's a bad move, even if I don't know all the semantics with the Iran deal. Maybe we were giving them too much. Maybe it was a bad deal on that part.
Well, basically, it will take them about 20 years to build one nuke.
Yeah, and maybe that's kind of what they're looking at. Maybe they're like, well, we can easily control that from happening without having to have this agreement, which keeps our hands tied back a bit. But I just think it was a bad idea because other countries are going to look like, oh, you want to do this, U.S., and you say you're going to do this, but, remember when you pulled out of the Iran deal? Remember when you pulled out of the Paris Climate Accord? Remember when you canceled your talks with North Korea? I mean, they'll notice things like that happening. And that's kind of the thing I'm most worried about, is that it's going to cause problems to where, they can't be reversed. They can't be, fixed.
We have very dumb politicians and head of the country. Very dumb.
Oh, no. They're very smart. They know exactly what they're doing.
Trump? No,
he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, but...
I don't like him one bit, but, he wouldn't be where he is if he didn't know what he was doing. Like, okay, maybe not him directly, but, he has a part in it. He can really talk people up, and he knows how to communicate in that regard. But obviously he has people working with him that, can kind of fill in the blanks.
Yeah, it's like, if you have so much money, you have a lot of power. That's how the society is pretty much run. But that's life. We'll be dead before anything really bad happens.
Trump doesn't have all that much money, from what I've heard.
We'll find out. But
yeah. I watched a documentary on Netflix about that, actually.
Well, he also screwed a lot of people too.
Yeah.
Good. Let's get off the politician thing. It's kind of giving me anxiety.
Oh yeah, I don't like to talk about it too much. Like, I mean, occasionally I'll see like a post on Facebook or something like that, and I'll kind of read up and chip in my 2 cents. But I don't really follow it closely. That's part of the reason why I don't really do those kinds of videos on my channel. Yeah,
it's also controversial too, because now YouTube is like, oh, if you do like this, like newsworthy stuff, we'll demonetize you because it's not friendly for the viewers. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Like, actually, one of the channels on YouTube that I do follow some of those channels on YouTube as far as that. And what they'll do is they'll take buzzwords like Iran and they'll like put in one of those little accent symbols over the A, so it doesn't come up in the search, like it doesn't count against them. Whoops.
Almost had a mouthful there too.
Yeah. Exactly.
But anyhow, I see a lot of games on your side. I see PS1, Xbox 360, PC games at the bottom, PS2 in the bottom, Wii in there, and PS3's on the top. So like, how did you like start collecting? Like, are you still collecting like older generation games, or are you still like you want to get more newer games coming out right now?
I don't really have a lot of older stuff at the moment. I have like a few NES and Super Nintendo games and stuff like that, but for the most part, I'm pretty much done with that part of it, collecting.
Would you want me to send you some? They're all in Japanese, so I don't know if you'll be able to play it or not.
Oh no! Although technically I do have my Super Nintendo modded to where I can play Super Famicom games and stuff like that. It's actually a really easy fix. You can literally just open it up and you file a couple of plastic pieces, and then you can put a Super Famicom
Oh
game in
yeah.
there.
Oh, so actually, some Super Famicom game actually plays in the regular Super Nintendo without the mods.
Well, no, with a regular Super Nintendo, if it's unmodded and you try to put the Super Famicom game, it won't go in all the way because there's like a little plastic piece on the system that prevents it from going in all the way. So you just have to open up the system and then like file that down so the cart will connect.
Okay. Well, for me, I had a puzzle game. I think someone already done it. It was like those bubble puzzles.
They might have.
Yeah, but yeah, I have like a whole bunch of Japanese game on the Sega Saturn and the PlayStation 1. If you want some, I'll give you some.
Oh, I appreciate it, but I don't even have a Sega Saturn.
That's for you to buy. You have it right there staring at you. It's like, I must buy one. I must look for one. But so you don't collect much of the older games as much? You're trying to, or is it just too damn expensive, or is it just hard to find?
That's part of it, but I think the main thing is like I can emulate a lot of those games or download them from like Steam or just various things like that, just various sources, game compilations. Nintendo's going to have that Switch online setup where they're going to have games. That'll be really fun because of being able to play them online. So, yeah, there's all kinds of cool things like that. I don't really have a personal attachment to cartridges like I used to.
Well, what do you think about the cloud system that Nintendo's trying to bring out? Like what Capcom's doing with Resident Evil 7, the cloud system. Even though United States internet is crap, and Japan is like 1 gig like internet speed for $20.
Oh yeah,
that's the speed I had in Japan. It's like 1 gig for $20, and they have like a whole bunch of internet competition. Like over here, like we're so behind on internet speed. It's like not everyone's gonna get the same bandwidth of it to actually play Resident Evil 7 on the Switch or any other cloud system games, because we tried it on the PlayStation Now. I think we we tried it on the one for the Xbox, I believe, as well, but didn't do well. But it was playable to a point, but didn't do that well. Only
Wait, one for the Xbox? What are you referring to?
I don't know. I think Xbox had the cloud service, didn't they?
No, Xbox's is different because you actually download the game to your console. I actually had that service called Play Pass.
Yeah,
that was actually a really good service, but I had to temporarily cancel it just because had some bills coming up and just got to cut the budget a bit for the time being, anyways. But I'll probably resubscribe to that whenever Crackdown 3 comes out because I want to check that out, see if that's any good.
Well, so no, NVIDIA should also do the cloud thing too, I believe.
Yeah, but that actually works through your PC, so you have to actually have a PC.
Good connection.
But yeah, as far as that cloud stuff, it's a really cool idea. I actually was one of the first people to test out the OnLive service. I don't know if you remember what that was, but the OnLive service was experimenting with that stuff long before anybody else really even thought about it. But anyways, with that being said, it overall didn't work the best for people. It had a lot of video compression and things like that. So I don't know. Personally, I had a good experience with it. Good enough at least to be able to beat certain games like Deus Ex Human Revolution, which that's like a 40-hour game.
Yeah.
So or 30-hour or something like that. So that's not bad. I beat a few other games like Mafia 2, Duke Nukem Forever. That was a turd. But
I still like those silicone tits to slap though.
Yeah. Good time. I mean, it really isn't that bad of a game. It's just when you saw like what they were showing off back in E3 2000 with the demo they had for that, and it's like, oh, other than the graphics being better, there's really nothing that's changed since then. As a matter of fact, the storyline isn't even nearly as interesting. They made it sound a lot more interesting back in E3 2000 when you first showed off that game. So,
any predictions that any games that may came out that hasn't been announced yet on E3 that you think of?
E3. Well, one thing I'm really curious to find out is what FromSoft is working on. The people that they teased that game that said Shadows Die Twice during that Game Awards thing, and everybody's discussing what it's about. Like, oh, it's a new Bloodborne or something like that. I'm not too sure about that. I actually think that's most likely a new Tenchu game.
I think it's too early to make Bloodborne 2. That game hasn't been out that long.
I don't think it's too early. I think they're kind of getting a little tired of making those types of games, and they want to do something else. And they haven't worked on Tenchu in literally over 10 years.
Tenchu,
so I think that's what they're working on with the new game. So placing my bet right now on that. Yeah. But other than that, there's the whole rumor with Fallout 3 Anniversary coming out. I think that's definitely going to happen. I really hope it does, at least, because I really like Fallout 3.
I think Fallout 3 is my favorite series. I think Fallout 3 Anniversary came out for the PC. This is going to be for the console, wouldn't it be?
No. There's a rumor that they're coming out of Fallout 3 Anniversary. I'm guessing it's going to be like a remaster of Fallout 3.
To the Fallout 4 graphics?
Yeah, they might be using like the Fallout 4 engine and stuff like that. That'll be interesting to see.
I wanted to remake Fallout 1 and 2. I bought the atomic bomb case with a DLC code inside of it. And I'm like they need to remake this damn thing. It's just like back then, PC, like the original Command and Conquer games.
Mm-hmm. And I love the original Fallout games. Those were practically life changing for me.
Yeah, I know.
Because I don't know if you remember, they had a, how like sometimes companies will bother you. I don't know if you ever heard of Disney Movie Club.
I have.
Where they send you like emails like, oh, you can get all these Disney movies for $1, and then you have to sign up for a commitment where you have to buy like 5 or so movies at $25 to $30 each. So that's where they get you. It's like, oh, you can get all those great movies for cheap, but then you're having to pay like $10 over retail to. For each of the extra ones to make up the commitment. Yeah. But, if you were smart, you can wait until they do sales and stuff like that and then just buy those cheaper ones so you can get out of the commitment cheaper, but which is what I did personally. But anyways, back in the day, they actually had one called the Columbia House CD-ROM Club. So it was the same thing, but it was for box PC games, which is a really cool idea. And I signed up for that, but funny enough, I got out of it because I was underage, so technically that couldn't be under contract for that. Because they were trying to sue me over not paying for games that they sent me or something like that. But I was able to get out on that technicality. But anyways, one of the games that I chosen was the original Fallout, which I didn't really know much about it. I just heard like from PC gaming magazines it was a good game, so like sure, I'll check that off. And then I checked off like a few other games like Total Annihilation and. There was some kind of like I think it was the Monster Truck Madness or something. It was like a Microsoft truck racing game. Yeah, I forget all the games. I think there was like Duke Nukem Balls of Steel. That was actually like the pinball Duke Nukem game. Was like Quake. Fun. No, I didn't get Quake off of that. That wasn't actually on their list. They had like a list of games you could choose from. Okay. But Fallout, man, that game was life changing. I played through that like 3 times in a row, playing different paths and stuff like that. And eventually, I ended up loaning that game to a friend. I never got it back, unfortunately. But I obviously played it again since. I actually did a live stream, or not live stream, but a Let's Play of that on my channel, 100-part Let's Play. This was back when YouTube was limiting us to like 10-minute video clips. So I had to, that's why I had to split into like 100 parts. Wow. But yeah, that was a great series. Obviously, Fallout 2, whenever that came out. I, ended up getting that. Fallout Tactics, which was the next game after that. That was actually the very first game I ever pre-ordered. And it had a cool t-shirt and stuff like that came with it, which I no longer have. But I've always been a fan of the series. Ever since Fallout Tactics, I've always pre-ordered every game in the Fallout universe. It's definitely one of my favorite franchises, but Fallout 4 was a bit disappointing overall, I think.
I think that will make it a lot better because it had the same mechanics as the Fallout 3, but it wasn't nothing like there was like game changing. And I think the story can be more refined.
Well, that's kind of the thing with like Fallout 4 versus the previous ones is the dialogue tree. I did not like the way they did the dialogue because they did it more like. Oh, is that Ashley?
That's my mom. What?
Oh, your mom.
I want to make some sand. You want some?
Later.
Is she visiting or something?
No,
or?
She lives with me. I take care of her. She had a She had a pre-cancer in her uterus. Got that removed a year ago, and I've been taking care of her ever since.
Oh, I had no idea. I never even heard or seen her in any of your other videos.
Oh, she's on the playlist. I think it's called Asher Lancelot Cooking. She's gonna have her own little video every Thursday. It's gonna be called Psycho Crazy Korean Mom.
Oh.
There's videos of her just nothing. There's video of her cooking. Just say eat shit, a little bit of shit of this, a little bit of shit of that, and there you go. She makes Korean food, and you guys can make it with her.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever had Korean food legitimately.
Oh, that's a life changer.
Yeah, I think the fanciest thing we have in this area is we have a Thai restaurant. That's like the fanciest, like most ethnic thing that we have. Other than that, we just have the usual bastardized Chinese American buffets, and got some Mexican restaurants, which the Mexican restaurants are actually pretty good. I'm sure it's nothing like it is in Mexico, of course, but I like it.
You want something that's very close to Mexico? Go to south of Texas or California.
Oh, well, south of Texas is Mexico, so I would hope it's good Mexican food.
And California is like really big with Mexican food.
Yeah.
We love eat those shit every day. But it's just yeah, because going back to the thing, because when you play the older games, you play the newer games. When you play the newer games for so long amount of time, especially like StarCraft, StarCraft 2 and stuff like that, and you go back and play these older games again on the PC. It's just the speed of how the reaction speed, how we used to on the newer one. It's like so slow on the older one, and you got to readjust to that slow speed.
Oh, like with the way the game's played, yeah, definitely a little bit slower paced. I mean, StarCraft was a really fun game, but that was before we got to the age of MOBAs, where you had to like rapidly click in order to control your character in the optimal way, which I always got a crack out of, because I was like, all that is just really shitty pathfinding.
Yeah,
I was like, freaking Age of Empires 2 figured out pathfinding a long time ago. Why can't you guys do it?
what was that? What was that cheat? Big Daddy, and it was like a car with a guy on top of it with a freaking rocket launcher.
Oh, what, in Age of Empires?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
It's like Big Daddy, and they got some very. It's like the cheats were like very like intricate, because they know they're making fun of you because you're cheating. They put these little crap and like show me the money and stuff.
Oh yeah, I miss cheat codes. Those were really good times. I don't know why they disappeared. I guess because they figured, well, we can just sell players upgrades. So why put it in for free where you have to use a cheat code?
Or microtransaction, just give me your money, I'll give you a powerful weapon to beat the game. Like for me is I'll cheat after I beat the game first. Then I'll cheat for fun, because I already beat the damn thing.
I mean, I liked how the games like Grand Theft Auto does it, where you put your cheat code in, you can just mess around as much as you want, but it won't save your progress. I think that's kind of the best way to do it.
Yeah. But other than that, it's just, it's just how gaming evolved, because I started with the Super Nintendo. And I don't know what you started out with.
Well, I had a little bit of experience with the Atari 2600. A little bit. Like, I don't really remember it too much. Like, the only games I remember really playing prior to us getting a Super Nintendo was Pac-Man for the Atari. And then I think it was that was pretty bad, obviously, but I didn't know any better.
I have Pac-Man in the house. Yeah, I get the.
Well, like a lot of YouTube videos, when you watch that, people will be like, how come ghosts are disappearing and stuff like that? That doesn't actually happen. It's the game has a flicker that they put in there because, well, for one, the programmer wasn't the best Atari programmer, because they made a lot better homebrew versions of the game. But
people still make homebrews for it.
But the other thing to keep in mind, the hardware is just so limited that they use that sprite flicker as a way to basically double the maximum frame rate that they can get, because the game probably would run too poorly without that flicker. So they did that to make it run more smoothly. But that doesn't come out well in YouTube videos unless you record in 60 frames a second, which a lot of people made fun of Pac-Man on YouTube in the early days. We didn't really have that as an option back then. So.
Yeah, well, now it's like freaking Pac-Man 64 and like holy shit, it's like that. And it's like Namco is actually pretty good. It's just that when they remake it to like a 3D version of it, it looked like shit. Like the Pac-Man 64 is actually Pac-Man in 3D form, And he,
Oh, I didn't know
he-
they made a
he-
64 one.
Yeah, then you gotta jump through obstacles and stuff. It's like it
Oh.
feels like more Pac-Man becoming Mario.
Oh, okay, that sounds kind of like Pac-Mania in a way, because that had kind of a pseudo 3D grid, and I think you could actually jump with your Pac-Man in it and stuff like that.
Yeah, but this
But it
actually
played like Pac-Man otherwise.
it was like the actual figure of like a you know, like I don't know if you've watched the Pac-Man
Oh, like
cartoon.
yeah, the legs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's probably more based on like the cartoon Pac-Man and whatnot. Okay,
Yeah.
I got it.
So it's like okay, I'm throwing this in the garbage. But yeah, I was showing I had the 2600 collection. These are actually really cheap to buy now.
Oh yeah, I actually do have some Atari 2600 games too. Like I haven't hooked up that system probably in 5 or more years, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy myself a system soon because I'm like having it's like 3 for $1 every time I go to the flea market. Get the ones
Yeah.
that I want. Well, but other than that, you know, like the evolution of games, in your opinion, from 2600s to now, with the I think this is one of the controversies that people are talking about, the violence of video game, even though there's that doesn't really affect anyone at all. It's just that, you know, like back then I was talking to people, is like in like PS1 came out, when you play Resident Evil, you see all the blood and gore and stuff. But then we thought that was like the best cutting edge graphics, and now you see these horror games. I was like, holy shit, that guy just grabbed that guy's mouth and just ripped him to shred with his bare hands. Like, it's like more realistic at that point of view. Like, what do you think about that?
Well, it's kind of funny looking back at that, because back in the day of those games, I was like, does this get any better?
And it gets
You
better.
know, I really kind of doubted it, but the thing is, it does. I mean, technology has advanced quite a lot since then. I mean, it seems like it's starting to plateau a little bit, because if you look at the graphics of like PS3 versus PS4, there's not really that big of a difference.
No.
It's mainly like resolution, texture quality, you know, rendering distance, that kind of stuff
Yeah.
is all improved. But overall, I mean, if they really wanted to, they can probably shoehorn a lot of the current gen games on a PS3 or 360 if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, they have. I mean, look at games like Metal Gear Solid 5 that ran on those systems, albeit not that great, but
Yeah.
they ran playable enough, you know, at least. So,
Also,
I mean,
Skyrim on the PlayStation 3 wasn't that great either.
right. I mean, if you really have to play a last gen version, definitely go the 360 route on that.
Yeah, but you know, I think we're like 5-10 more minutes, and we'll end it. And so you ask me questions if you like, or we can talk about something that what's in your mind.
Okay. All right. So, like, how did you end up getting your start on YouTube?
Me, I had to find a way. Doctor said I need a hobby because I was literally comatose in bed in pain. So, and I had trouble. I had no trouble talking because I played D&D for almost all my life. You played D&D too, but you told me because of Table Simulator. I already checked that out. It's actually pretty good, but I got to figure out all the. But it takes time to build.
Oh yeah, Tabletop Simulator is excellent. I haven't played in a little while. But...
Yeah, and you know, it's like it's like I'm very social. I used to be I used to be a vice president of the Lions Club, not anymore because I told him no more. But now it's like, you know, after my injuries with a whole bunch of medication, my cognitive's not that is going missing. I lost half my memory, and I can go list of medication. So the doctor said I need a hobby, and I need to talk to people. So I can't go to Friday Night Live on Fridays anymore because if there's a group of people and they feel like they're going to kill me, they're gonna have a bad day. And basically I had to refine myself as a home as much as possible now. So that's why I use YouTube as my anxiety and depression, just to talk to people, because I don't have to worry about you trying to kill me from my screen. So
yeah.
So
Fortunately,
so I use this most of the time, but there's time I will go out and I'll probably be liquored up, and even if you see me be friendly, that's probably because I'm probably liquored up and I don't give a damn around me at all. But yeah, that's why I'm in YouTube now. So I don't really care much about the money. I just care about, you know, like meeting new people like you and like RGT5. Like it's like a community that help each other out, you know.
Yeah,
in
actually,
the times of need.
I remember how we met. RGT85 did that once in the box episode.
Yeah.
And your wife sent that quilt or whatever that she made.
No,
that was really cool, actually.
it wasn't a quilt.
or was it? What was it like? I thought it was something like a quilt.
I gave him
blanket?
I gave
Pillow?
I gave him a Famicom and a Super Famicom.
No, though there was actually like something that she made.
And she did not make a quilt. I sent him
She-
Japanese games and Famicom and Super Famicom.
I'm pretty sure that she made something for Sean, and he was like really impressed by it. Because I remember watching an episode. He actually opened up my package first.
I know, but
and I sent him that Raspberry Pi box.
Yeah.
Because he always gets upset about the Raspberry Pi. And I wrote that message saying, join us, Sean, because he was calling Raspberry Pi people a cult. But I actually put like a bunch of like Game Boy Advance and Game Gear games instead.
I gave him an Air Force. I gave him an Air Force coin. And a Famicom, Super Famicom, and a couple of Japanese games. Actually,
I think I remember the Famicom games too.
Yeah,
I remember the quilt. There was something. You should check out Sean's video on that. Yeah.
Because she doesn't know how to sew. That's the problem. She doesn't know how to sew. That's why.
Oh well, maybe it wasn't a quilt, but it was something like that was homemade.
So we actually made a Castlevania fan art. We tried to send it to RGT85.
Oh, was it art? Oh, okay. It might have been what it was. I thought it was a quilt or something.
We have a lot of Castlevania fan art now that we're selling. We're trying to give him like a piece of it and a couple more to give as a giveaway, but he hasn't set up his peel box yet.
Well, yeah, he's well, I guess he needs to get on it now. He's moved for a couple months now.
Yeah, it's like I'm messaging him like, when are you gonna get it ready? Soon, bro. Probably a week, when this week. Again, when are you gonna get it ready? I was like, it's snowing over here. That's not an excuse. Start shoveling to the USP or something. UPS or something. Well, I'm also gonna send you an Air Force coin as well, just letting you know.
Oh, okay. That'd be cool. I mean, if it's from your personal thing, you don't have to say anything like that.
I have no personal thing in the military. I just do this. This is my C5 coin I go and buy, and I just give it to people that I respect. That's pretty much it. If you're helping out the community and helping out your family and your friends, then you deserve an Air Force coin. That's because you're going above and beyond, no matter what.
Well, I am flattered.
But I don't
think I deserve it, but I'm glad that you feel that way.
Yeah, well, you don't see me if I have a sense of person that has a very ill intent, I won't talk to them at all. Mm-hmm. I don't deal with people with ill intent. I deal with people that actually speak their mind and their truth and basically do what they can do, because you're a family man. And family is really important. The community of YouTube is also that can be second to last. If your house is burning and you take care of your family, of course take care of your family. YouTube can wait. It's like we're not that big yet that it's going to be a financial money maker at all. It's like,
oh yeah, for sure.
It's like this is basically like when I tell a lot of people they're starting out, you make this as a hobby. Don't think that you're gonna get famous within a day. It's like a lot. You're just basically trying to win a lottery in YouTube and try to be big. But that's pretty much it. That's too.
Oh yeah, and the trends always change. Obviously, if you just try to chase trends, you're not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah.
And obviously you got people like Ninja. I'm sure you know who he is.
Yeah.
That Fortnite streamer. He makes like almost $1 million a month live streaming Fortnite, which is just insane.
Oh, he's going down now.
People look at that stuff. Well, I don't know. I guess if you factor in merch and other revenue streams, I'm sure it's like that kind of amount still. But that you can't really expect that to happen. You got to do something that you enjoy, and if you want to chase trends, you got to be setting the trend, actually, not chasing it.
I don't have the will or the time to do that. It's like I have a life.
That's what I think. You just gotta do things your own way. I actually do. Once I get like a better camera and stuff like that, there is a type of video that I would like to do that I really haven't seen other people do. I think it'd be a really cool idea, but I want to do it in like a professional way, so that
once the studio's about to get done, I think by the next month, I am actually doing 3 new series. One of them I haven't really seen people do yet as well. It's the Church of Lyle setting, so that's a different story why the people in the military call me that, but I'm gonna start that series like a comedy horror Cthulhu kind of shit. But yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
But it's one of those things. Is it's just thinking creatively and putting out is great. It's just the final product. How will people react to it? That's the main thing that we always care about, because we able to put their heart and you can put your heart and soul into one thing, even though it's your love, your masterpiece. You also think about freaking thousands of people watching this shit, and it's like, expressing their feelings about it, and it's like, I don't really care about your feelings. I like it. If there's a way you think you make it better, that'd be great. That's good criticism. But you're gonna come in here and talk shit about it for no freaking reason. Get the fuck out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of just my advice, is just to do what you love to do.
Yeah.
And always be open to changing it up at the same time. Like, you got to think about, like, that's why I do the vlogs the way I do them now. I do a lot of editing, even though I'm good at it now to where I don't have to spend a lot of time. That's why I do the things I do now on the channel.
Yeah.
Because I want them to be done in a nice way, but I don't want to spend a lot of time on it either, because it is just a hobby.
Yeah.
And I want to spend some of that time actually playing video games and doing something kind of fun like that.
No, yeah.
And it also gives me the way to be able to talk about things too, to actually have subject matter to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
People can easily see when you don't know what you're talking about. They can see right through it.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, thanks for the podcast / interview. Hope you enjoyed it, Down Phoenix. And please go check out his channel down below. Also, I have one more question. Do you still play D&D?
Haven't lately. Last time I did some role playing, I actually played this weird RPG game called Puppet Master or something like that. Or actually, I don't know if that's what it is called. It was actually like it's basically an RPG that you play in a 1 hour session, and it's exactly a 1 hour session, and there's no dice rolling or anything like that. It's very imaginative. You basically play as like a sock puppet theater type setup. You choose like different things like sock puppets and hand puppets and like shadow puppets and things like that you could play as. It's a really fun game. The last time I actually played like legit D&D was probably about 3 or 4 years ago, but I definitely love playing those kinds of games.
I need an extra player. You be a perfect one.
Okay, I'll think about it. Like, what kind of campaign are you doing?
5th edition.
If
you need a book, we got the PDF for you.
I never actually played 5th edition. The last D&D I played was 3.5, and
it's like, I guess it's very similar to 3.5. The only difference is that you have to. It's very small amount of feats, and they combine a lot of skills into one.
Oh, okay, so kind of like a streamlining kind of thing. That's what they sort of did with 4th edition.
But
I never played 4th edition because it was like too simplified.
But if you need the books, let me know. I can get them sent to you, and as a PDF. So you read it at your leisure.
Like are you doing just like the base books, like the player's handbook and all that stuff? Or what?
Yeah, base handbook, monster manual, DM's guide. I actually do make my own campaign, but usually my campaign that I make is high level because you played since like freaking 2003. But I'm using the regular one for people I got some new people playing, so I'm using this one just to help them out. But if that new player play my actual campaign. Is that a
higher level campaign or
no? This is everyone's level 2 right now.
Oh, okay. So it's still fighting like kobolds and things like that.
Yeah, I already got the video out already for it, the first session. So, well, anyhow, thank you, Down Phoenix. I think everyone check out his channel and his Twitch, support him, show him some love, and thank you for the interview and podcast. And anything you want, any last minute talk before I end it?
And with that, guys, Down Phoenix out.